like 250 million years before present, it was the only one land. Nowadays we can observe that there are seven different lands, but 250 million years before present there was only one land, that was the Pangaea, that was called Pangaea. And the all these seven lands which nowadays are present, they are actually originated from that Pangean land. That Pangean land was the actually mother of all these seven lands which are present nowadays. We can observe the Pangaea was actually lying in the center of the equator or the tropical part of plant. Therefore it was experience high temperature or hot environmental conditions. The most of the time the Pangaea keep on experiencing the hot environmental condition and high temperature, because it was lying in the tropical portion. As we already discussed, the tropical portion is the hottest portion of the earth. Therefore the diversity was also of one type, that in the center those plants which can survive, a limited number of plants, they would be able to survive because of these hot environmental conditions. Therefore the species richness was less as compared to the abundance. The species richness, some species can cope that environment, and those species which survived at that time, they vigorously grow, and they increase their number of individuals, and the number of individual of each population is called as abundance. And at the edges of the edges of Pangaea was also very close to the uh, South Pole and North Pole, and they experience a bit cooler condition as compared to the tropical portion of the Pangaea. The edges, the south edge and north edges, they also had some good condition. It means they can also have some moderate conditions of environment, as they were close to the south pole and north pole. They were permanently frozen. Therefore the there were almost two type of environment. One was the harsh and very hot environment, and the second environment which were present on edges, that was a little bit moderate. Therefore the species of that edges were different as compared to the central part of the Pangean region. There was two type of the environment created on that Pangean time, and the whole continent was also surrounded by only one ocean or sea, that was Tethys. And later on, after converted into Eurasia and North America, these both lands were actually the Laurasia. Eurasia, Eurasia further converted into Asia and Europe, and the Gondwana converted into four continents, which were the Australia, Antarctica, South America, and Africa. These four continents were produced by the Gondwana land. And here you can see here the purple color is showing the Indian plate, which is a part of Gondwana land or African land. Next, actually, what happened with that Indian land or Indian plate? That Indian plate, when these Eurasia were forming, Gondwana was forming, Eurasia were forming, Asia were forming. At that time, 10 million years before present, that Indian plate from Gondwana, it moved to the Eurasia, and it collided with the Eurasian plate, and it became part of Eurasia, or it becomes South Asian part, which constitute Pakistan, India, Nepal, uh, Maldives, Bhutan, all these South Asian countries. Actually, these South Asian countries are the part of African land. They are African land which collided, and because of this collision of Indian plate, which is separated from African plate, yeah, or African continent, produced the Himalayas, high Himalayas, by the collision of the Indian plate with the Asian plate. Because of this collision, because Indian plate mean has a uh, uh, huge mass, and that huge mass is moving, then it is called as momentum. Momentum is equal to m into v, velocity. Then when it collide with a huge momentum, it produced the Himalayas in front, and on the west side of Pakistan, the um, Balochistan plateau is also produced. Plateau is a little bit different than mountains. Mountainous range is produced in front of the Indian plate. The Himalayas, the huge Himalayas are produced, while the west side of the this Indian plate, which is our western side of Pakistan, also produced Balochistan plateau. Pakistan plateau is also produced. Actually, we are not part of Asia. We are part of Africa, and our forefathers are also Negroes of Africa. Therefore, our uh, heights and our little bit figure is also like African, not like the Asians. Asians are Japanese, Chinese. These are Vietnams. These are the actually the Asians, and these has small heights, but we have large height like our forefathers, which are from Africa. Therefore, we are also not like the Asians. We are our complexion is like our forefather, which are a little bit. Our complexion is also like our forefather. Our heights and figures are also like our forefathers, which are present in Africa. Uh, but our complexion is lighter as compared to the African population. Why? Because of the change in environmental condition. Um because in Africa they are experiencing the tropical environmental condition, but here we are facing the temperate environmental conditions. Now, this situation is has 7 different continents, and each continent has one face toward see the 7 continents: the Africa, Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, South Africa, America, sorry, North America, Antarctica. All these are experiencing the different environmental condition. Each continent is experiencing different condition. For example, the European countries are very close to the uh, no, so North Pole, and Antarctica is present on South Pole, and almost all has temperate region, all has tropical regions, all lands has their own oceans. Therefore, the environmental condition are totally changed. When the environmental conditions are totally changed, the diversity is also increased as compared to the Pangasian time diversity. The Pangasian time was that time when the diversity was less because of same environmental condition. But here the environmental conditions each land is facing is a bit different as compared to the Pangaean land. The edges of uh, uh, all continents are facing their independent uh, oceans, and there are also edges are facing the a cooler environmental condition, like as we can see in Asia, and they are also facing the tropical area of the earth. Therefore, the environmental conditions are changed, and the diversity is also changed. But in now this is all about the environmental condition, how they produce the diversity, how they produce the species, and how the species constitute the diversity. But now in the next lecture we will discuss about the origin of life, how the plants originated from viruses, and how the life started from nothing. Then next lecture we will discuss.